want you to do me a favor and encourage inspiring barbers, those that want to be on your level, those that have a dream to be just this barber in the industry that's doing some amazing things. Can you just kind of encourage those before we shut out this episode?
All right, so I would say that if you're actually thinking about jumping, jump. Don't be scared to jump because the reward of jumping is going to be 100 times bigger than what you think of. Don't set your mind to where you feel like you can't do it. Try it and always look back. How can I do better? Don't be that person that says, I'm too scared to try it. I'm too scared to jump. I encourage you to try it. I encourage you to be the better version of yourself. And the key to success is giving. Give more, and always trust in God because He is the answer.
So, man, what are you doing right now to stay innovative, to stay creative with having so many barbers and barbers shops on deck?
Man, bro, well, I mean, it just goes back to the growing up. I remember that I would always see the barbers that had been in the game for 10 to 15 years. And I saw that most barbers, anywhere from 10 to 15 year markets, when they start getting burned out, right? So for me, it was like, it's always constant that motivation and of barbers, my barbers looking up to me, the community looking up to me. So to me, it's like, I got to keep going, you know what I mean? And I want to keep going to be able to bring more value to them. So with that, as far as like, I'm always constantly going to educational seminars. I love learning, bro. I love learning because I always feel that there's always room to learn, always room to grow. So not only that, but one of the things that has made us very successful in our barbershops is what am I bringing to the table for people, right? And it's like, a lot of the times you go to barbershops and you go in and you sit in a chair and a lot of people just collect booth rent. But for
Yeah.
me, I always wanted to be like, hey, let me put you on game. Let me do the footwork and I'm gonna come back and teach it to you. You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why a lot of barbers want to be a part of our team because I'm constantly taking them to educational seminars. We're constantly going to shows. We're partnered up with a lot of the big shows. So it's always constantly like, I just want to be in the door and everything else just comes, you know what I mean? So I'm just enjoying the journey. I like being able to be innovative and I like to surround myself with people that know more than me. So I'm always constant. Every time I go to a show, I try to connect with somebody that's doing something better than me.
Yeah, yeah.
And then from there, kind of bring them to the barbershop or just bringing more education to the barbershop. And one of the things that we innovate in our shops is that not only do we bring barbering and cosmetology
Yeah.
education, I like to bring financial advisors. I like to bring life insurance agents. I like to bring realtors. And when we do these type of things, we also invite the community because we want to make sure that our barbershops is a community and it's a door opener for everybody that needs help. You know what I mean? Because
That's
as
good.
barbers, we do that. You know what I mean? I think that we're constantly helping others. So that's one of the things that I like to do to innovate, bro. Just constantly learning and
That's
growing.
good. That's good. How are some of those events for the community where you say you bring in, realtors and those guys that want to be able to be a part of these financial literacy classes? How is the outcome? Like, what is the turnaround as far as the community being a part of it and the barbers? Is it where you seeing results? That type of thing from these people coming in. Like, walk me through that.
So the big thing for me is I've always lived by the 1% rule,
Okay.
and I've always said if I can impact one person, I'm good. So
That's good,
when
bro.
we do that,
That's good.
like as far as like the turnaround and stuff, I do this. I'm like, look, I'm gonna put this event together. If you guys want to come, feel free to do it. Because at the end of the day, it might not be for everybody,
I got you.
but as long as I'm putting it out there, and if it's benefited one person, man, I'm winning already. You know.
I've been burning to ask you, how did you get your start? Like, how did you get to where you are today? Can you just kind of walk us through that starting process, that journey?
Yes. So, funny thing, I used to work for the state of Texas for years and years.
Gotcha.
And I never felt like satisfied with what the work I was doing. 9 to 5 type. Hated it. I wanted to have something that I could grow myself, something to leave my kids. And so it was funny because during COVID, my son needed a haircut. So I said, let me cut your hair, and I cut his hair with some clippers from Walmart. And it came out decent. And I was like, I might be onto something. So I started researching barbers and I really got into it. And there was a school in Corpus nearby. And I said, I had a day off finally. It was a Monday. And I said, I'm going to go check out the school. I went to check out the school. And they were just so hype about like, oh, let's get you signed up. Like, come on, you need to enroll. You need to come to barber school. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I just might. And so I ended up really thinking about it, and I made an impulsive but informative, because I did my research, decision, and I quit my job and I joined barber school. And
You quit your whole job.
I quit my whole job. Wow. And I got into barber school, got a part-time job. Yeah. And I started barber school during COVID, which was crazy because we shut down, open, shut down, open. It took forever for me to get my hours and finish barber school.
Got you. So you've been a grinder. You've been a hustler. Like before you got into the industry, you've been doing your thing. You already had that. Because you can't teach somebody how to be a hustler. You can't teach somebody how to have a grind. That was something that was already in you. Yes. So it makes sense why you're successful today. The followers, as I said, is growing. That's how we connected. I'm just excited about the things that I'm seeing right now with your Instagram and the things that you're involved with.
I appreciate that. I'm excited too. I'm always finding new things to get into, new things to learn, new networks to connect with. Yeah. Dallas is the place to be for that. So yes. I'm just, shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Dallas because it's making me a star.
In real life, she's serious.
No, I love it though. There's so much opportunity here. I tell everybody, like, Dallas is the place to be. It's booming.
I agree.
So it's been good to me to be able to find myself and open up into what I'm really passionate about. I can tie all these things into barbering and what I want to do and make it mine. So, yes.
So tell me, like, you just transitioned to the new shop. How long have you been at the new shop? While I look
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes.
And prior to, because you said you just moved here about a year now, and so how's that transition been for the new shop, from the old shop to the new shop?
So I feel so comfortable at the new shop. It's more my vibe. My clients feel comfortable. And not to say, the other shop wasn't. It's just, every shop has its own vibe. So I just think that with the new shop, I've been more comfortable, more in my element. I have more freedom. I'm able to control my schedule, my money, everything, which is what we strive for as barbers.
We need the money. We need
the
money.
It all around, it's just made me feel more comfortable.
You know what I like about it is you can have the best skills. You can have a book schedule. But if your environment that you cut in is not right, it's almost like it's not depressing, but it's close to it. It's like I got this full schedule, I have this like packed schedule, but the environment. I'm just amazed at your journey, man. You're only 23 and you are a shop owner, suite owner. Man, just kind of give us some game. How'd you get to the point to where you are today, man? Just walk me through, where you are today and how'd you get to where you are, man?
So the main thing that got me to where I am today is, of course, I gotta shout out wifey.
Let's go.
Wifey being behind me.
Yeah.
Another thing that really kind of shot everything off was moving.
Okay.
I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
And so I've only been in Texas for a year now. And so
hold on. You only been in Texas a year?
Yes. It's been a year.
And you already got your own shop.
Yes.
You're already an author.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
I've been here for maybe like a year and 3-4 months or something like that.
Wow.
And yeah, I was in Memphis, and I was at a point where I kind of gotten stagnant, kind of the same thing every day. And I wanted to challenge myself. We moved here, and ever since, everything's just been elevating. And I've been, able to meet a lot of people and put myself in the right rooms at the right time.
Absolutely.
And show my face at certain expos, and
Yeah.
shake those hands, make those connections. So ever since I've been here, it's just kind of shot off. I think moving to Texas was the main.
Okay, so walk me through this. It says that you were nominated at the actual Barber Expo, the
Yes.
premier Barber Expo.
Yes.
So you only been here in Texas a year, but you're in Tennessee and you had got a shout out. You were nominated at the Barber Expo. To me, that speaks volume.
Yes.
I mean, it's thousands of barbers all over the world flying to this particular expo, and
Definitely.
you were nominated. That's amazing, bro.
Thank
Your
you.
grind is real.
Thank you,
Your
brother.
grind is
Thank
real.
you.
Your grind is real because, I mean, for me, when you talk about you were in Tennessee, and you said that it was pretty much the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of times I say this. It's not that it is you. Sometimes you just outgrow the area you're in.
It's your environment.
It's your
A
environment.
lot of times, yes.
So did you feel like you outgrew the area that you were in?
Yes, the area, the shop, the people, everything. I felt like I kind of outgrew it and kind of reached the ceiling to where I just felt like I couldn't grow no more.
Man, love it, man.
I felt like I couldn't grow.
And I know sometimes in the barber industry, we can be frustrated with the area that we're in. We know it's more to us.
Yes.
We know that we can cut. We know that there is another dimension.
Yes.
Not another level. I'm not getting on the elevator just to go to the next floor.
Exactly.
There's another dimension. And what you're saying was you knew that it was something else in you that you had to relocate. Why Dallas?
Dallas, for one, I knew a lot of barbers here.
Okay.
So I knew it would be a lot easier to get in certain rooms with certain people and network and everything. And also, so our other option was Nashville. And I have a brother that lives in Nashville. So I felt like Nashville was, for one, too close to Memphis. And also I thought it would be way too easy to get there, and I would already have everything.
Wow.
Dallas, I didn't really know anybody, so I was like, if I come here, I can plant my own seeds, build my own community, and grow on my own, and not know anybody and start completely fresh.
Wow, man. So you have a book. Can you walk me through the book? Let me see here. The book is basically called The Hungry Barber.
Yes.
Your journey is indicative to the title of your book.
Definitely.
I mean, it matches. It's parallel. What made you title the book The Young Hungry Barber?
Because I wrote the book when I was 22, and that I felt like I was a young, hungry barber. I believe that I'm a very, very hungry individual. I don't like being stagnant. I don't like the same thing every day. I want to grow. I want to challenge myself. And the book was just another way to challenge myself, to see if I could actually write a book and see if it actually does well.
Wow, man. And so the first thing that I really just think is good to talk about is like value. The more valuable you become to the barbershop that you're going to work in, the industry at large, the more money you're going to make. So be more valuable, and you're going to essentially make a lot of money. And so it's like this. How do you become more valuable? One, are you just trying to go straight from barber college to shop ownership or to suite ownership? Or are you trying to basically take the proper steps that is necessary for you to be at the level that you want to be on? And with that, you have to do what it takes in order to get to where you're trying to go. Where are you trying to go? Are you trying to be a shop owner? Are you trying to go into a suite where you can really just say, man, I'm a shop owner? Man, it's time out for the clout chasing. It's time out for you trying to have this image of what you portraying to be like, but you don't got the goods. And so I tell a lot of shop owners who just going from a booth renter to a shop owner, man, please check this out. Don't build from the outside in, build from the inside out. Here's what I mean by that. If your product is not solid, don't go get 2,000 and 3,000 flyers and basically promote your product. Here's why. Because your product hasn't been developed yet. So build from the inside out. Make the right investment, bro. Make the right investment, sis. Like this game, it's a marathon. It's really a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're trying to get to the finish line. Not the first person to get to the finish line, but it's a process. So for an athlete, they have to really work out, bro. They really they gotta eat the right foods. They gotta work out. There's a process to becoming an elite athlete, an elite barber. There is a process to that. And one of the things that I would say that goes into becoming an elite barber is what you tune into, you turn into. The things that you're feeding yourself. What are you feeding yourself in order to become an elite barber? So, is your mindset coming right out of barber college to be a shop owner? Or you're saying, man, I need to go to a barber shop that has a gang of walk-ins, a lot of clientele, and I can be, even if that means you have to be at the last chair on that row. You still are getting into an environment where you can grow. We said it on a few episodes before this point that the sharpest knife in the drawer is at some point going to become just as dull as the other knives. So don't be the sharpest knife or the best barber at the shop that you're trying to go to so that you can get clout and so that you can be the man. Man, I'm telling you, if you take the proper steps, you are going to be one of the elite barbers in this industry. It's not just the followers. It's not just the book schedule, but it is the body of work that you've put into this industry that's going to, in fact, get you the open doors or even the opportunities that your body of work deserves. And so I'll say it like this. Coming out of barber college, please, man, I'll say it like this. Do not judge your chapter 2 to someone's chapter 20 because you're going to get lost in the sauce. They actually put in the work. They actually put in the time. They invested into barber shows. They invested into master classes and courses. They did the right things in order to get to their chapter 20. Man, a lot of this stuff that we see on Instagram and on YouTube today is a lot of it is cap. And so you're following an image, and behind every image, man, it's smoke and mirrors at the end of the day. So I would say for a new barber coming right out of barber college, this is my advice, my opinion. Go to a shop where you can glean from the owner. If you go from barber college, cutting out of the garage, straight to shop ownership, I feel like you don't have a point of reference. All you have is what you learned at barber college. But when you own, or rather go to a shop where the owner is going to give you the game, he's going to be able to sit you at the table and be a mentor and be some person that can really give you the actual opportunity to learn from his perspective or from her perspective. Now you have a point of reference. And you got other barbers that you can glean from. You got other barbers that you can really learn certain techniques because you got a certain way or a certain level of how you cut, but there's other barbers. Man, there's always going to be a barber that's better than you. There's always going to be a barber that's better than me. But here's the thing, I haven't arrived. I'm always going to be a student of the game. That's the mentality that's going to cause you to be an elite barber. Becoming a student of the game, whether you got 2 years in, 5 years in, 15 years of a body of work in this industry, you have to remain a student of the game and get under a barbershop owner that's going to give you the game. What are some things that you can share with new barbers just coming into the industry? They may see your videos, they may see your Instagram, they may even see your courses that you pretty much have available. What are some of the things that you would tell them just coming into the industry?
First thing I'll tell them is this what you really want to do? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be sure this is something that you really want to invest your time in, because it's gonna take a lot out of you. So that's like the first thing I always ask any barber student. Like if I would go to Texas Barber College, I'll go there and talk to them, and I ask them that, like, is this barbering is what you want to do at 110%? Then the second thing that I ask them is, are you disciplined enough to like really set appointments, be there on time? You know what I'm saying? Separate yourself from your social life, because you really want to focus on, this is really like an independent industry, to where you got to rely on yourself to like create your own paycheck. So if you don't have like the resources, or if you don't have the discipline to actually like, be the barber that you need to be, then you can't really make any money in this industry. You know what I'm saying? So those are like really the main two things that I ask them. That are you disciplined, or can you actually, do the things you need to do to actually be great in this? You know what I'm saying?
Man, you have a lot of barbers that are like, yo, discipline, that's a hard thing for me. I struggle with discipline. Making sure I be on time. A lot of barbers have a bad stigma of not being on time, or not showing up as a high level barber, or whatever the case may be. Like, I know for me, being as I've been in the industry 15 years. And one of the things that have revolutionized my whole entire business is a Booksy app, an app period, but I use Booksy. But most importantly, the new barbers coming in, do you think that they should have an app, or do you think that they should just go off of their phone? Because you talked about being disciplined. What does that look like for new barbers coming into the game?
I think they should look into the app. It tells you, it pretty much does everything for you. I mean, think about it. When we do doctor's appointments and we do dental appointments, any little type of appointments is either on app or we call and we set the appointment. But that's on a different level, but it's still, you still want us to actually have, like, for your clients, you want your clients to be able to come to you at an easy rate. It's like, I could go on the app and I can just book the appointment, and it just makes things a lot easier for you, because it's working for you. You know what I'm saying? Those things right there, like, when I started to do the app, it made a lot of things easier, because I didn't like answering the phone.
I agree.
I didn't like text messaging. Like, I would see a text message, and I have like maybe like over time, like maybe 200 or 300 text messages that I haven't even responded yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
would it be like text message like, hey, can you get me? Hey, are you available?
Yeah. Those things like that. But it's man, it's so many things that you're dealing with as a barber. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's hard to like answering your phone all the time.
Right.
So I tell them, just book on the app, bro. Like, everything is on the app. Like, especially like the times and availability and what service that you want. So
absolutely,
I think the barbers that's coming out of the industry, I think they should focus on getting the app and just learn how to orchestrate it while you in barber school. That's what I did. I actually I had a style seat, right? And so I was charging $25.
Wow.
I was charging $25 in barber school.
Okay.
And the school would charge $8. So whatever the difference was, I told them to pay me that.
Okay.
So I was really like finessing the game, but I was really preparing myself to get into the industry. I was really preparing myself. It wasn't that, I mean, I was finessing it, but I was really preparing myself for whatever, just like setting appointments. And I said, okay, a lot of them thought it was actually barbershop.
Right.
So on my business card, I had First Impression Barbershop on there, and I used the school address. So when they
that's a bar. So you basically used the barber college as your own barbershop? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, because I used the address.
Wow.
I used the address. So when I used the address, and I just put First Impression Barbershop, and I had my face logo as a little marketing thing, and I had my address. I don't think I actually had the pricing and everything on there, but it just had my address and phone number, and that's when I started to pass them out and everything. It was like these little frost cards.
Yeah.
I think I paid like $250 for them. Yeah, I paid like $250 for them, and everything kind of like worked in my favor, and they was just booking online. And I mean, I had like a full schedule, and I was making money in barber school.
What are some of the things that you're doing for the barbershop, rather the barber college specifically, in terms of marketing? How are you getting your guys to go from, an aspiring barber to signing up to, your actual barber college?
All right, so what sets Blaze Smith apart? One, it is the curriculum.
Okay.
So, you know,
Okay.
with most schools, I don't know if you remember, if you can kind of go back into your memory bank, you know how you have what book got 21 chapters in it. You might have, you know, facials at chapter, 5. Then you might have shaving at chapter 11. Then, you know, you may have, well, really, the book don't even talk about enhancements.
Yep.
But
Yep.
they stretch it out. So the way most schools do it, they write their curriculum out to where if a student doesn't learn shaving until his 3rd month, then if his program is 8 months, he only got 5 months to practice. So what we did to switch the game up, I took all of the major things that a barber needs to know as far as the services that they're going to be performing in the shop, and I front load the curriculum that way. And so what I do is that first like 45 days, students know how to shave, they know how to do enhancements, they know how to do advanced fading techniques, they know designs, they know facials. So now 45 days they've learned it. Now they get to practice the other 6-7 months, all of those things.
So you cracked the cheat code.
Man, it really
That's
it
good.
set us apart. And the motivation behind it was because I wanted our students to be above average. You know, like I know it's a lot of schools out there, they just are not producing a good product. If students don't really self-teach themselves, they're not really learning. And then, you know, so what I wanted to do, I wanted people to get their money's worth. So that's one of the things that we do. I'm sure you can remember. I don't know if you was that guy that was cold in barber school and everybody requested you. Well, usually what happens in most barber schools, when there's a student that's good, the school is always pushing customers on that student. He gets frustrated, he gets upset. The customers are mad, and where the customers come in and they expect that student, I want the best student.
Yeah.
So what we do at Bladesmith is, by law, you know, students cannot get paid, they can only accept tips.
Sure.
So, trust me, what I'm giving y'all right now, y'all just don't know. I came to this podcast willing to drop gems. All right.
Let's go.
So what we do at
I love
Bladesmith is we do a added gratuity to make sure that we stay within the guidelines of the state. So if you come in and you want the best student, or you come in and you want an appointment, we have an added gratuity that we bless the student with.
That's a bar.
And it's pretty steep. I ain't gonna tell you what it is.
got you. That's
but
smart.
what that does is that motivates the best students to want to put out heat consistently to build their clientele. So when people see that we are like for the students, so we're a student first school. So not only that, we shut down to the public like the first of the month. Like we shut down. So I forfeit that money. Because I can make a lot of money, but I forfeit that money and I shut the school down and give the students a breather to let them just focus on state board. That's when we do field trips. That's when we bring in speakers. I
Yeah.
kind of let them relax. It's like their reward for working so hard for me for the rest of the month.
Wow.
And so it's things like that, man, that really sets our school apart.
Man, it kind of sounds like you found a strategy, because I hadn't heard of this. I know when I went to barber college way back in the Gap, it was totally different. If you was cold, you was busy. That's just what it was. Like if you was cold, you was busy, and you really didn't get the theory, and you really didn't learn all of the 14 strokes and all the things because you were just a busy barber and you were making that college the money. And so it sounds like you figured out a way to maximize every student that's stepping into Bladesmith. So it's not just one or two cold barbers, but everybody that's going in there, they're motivated by the gratuity.
Yeah, they motivated.
That's amazing.
We're motivated. And when the customers come in talking crazy, like, yeah, man, I want the best student. You know what I'm saying? I get my lines right. I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, we can put you with the best student, but it's an added gratuity. You know what I'm saying? For that. If not, fall in line to the regular rotation. You pay the 8, get your haircut, and go about your business.
So does the actual client that's requesting that best barber, when you add that piece, the gratuity, what is their reaction? Is it just, oh, nah, is it gratuity, or is it they're willing to pay?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, it depends on the ethnicity.
Okay.
Because I ain't gonna lie, man. We have a very, very strong Indian clientele.
Okay, good.
The thing that I love about the Indian clientele is that one, they have 3 groups here in the Metroplex where it's like 300 people per group. So when one posts in a group, bro, they all show up and support.
Wow.
The other thing I love about it, they're very particular, so they don't give my students no slack, which means my students' expectations have to be on point.
Gotcha.
And two, you know, man, they have all types of hair, straight, curly. So, and then, man, they love tapers, fades, and so, man, I pray for my school to be overwhelmingly busy, and then God bless me with this demographic. Now, we cut everything.
Wow.
But it's kind of like, man, I can honestly say they're almost like the perfect client because I get everything just from this one ethnicity. So, now, reaction, yes, they want the world. When I tell them you can pay, some of them, they like, all right, cool. A lot of them, they be like, oh, I'll just wait, sir, I'm good. But then you have those people, they kind of look at it, they like, well, man, if I can support a student, pay him a little bit, it's a little cheaper than the other barbers, you know, professionals, man, I'm willing to support. So you get people that really like the journey, they like the growth, and they like the idea of being a blessing to somebody. So it's kind of hit or miss, you know. But either way, like it or love it, that's what it is.
That's just what it is. That's good, bro. That's good. You know, for me, I have been watching you for some time. You know, even when I came to Little Elm, I've seen an incredible level of success. I'm like, yo, this is PMC. Like, yo, I seen the line, I seen, you know, all the barbers and everything else. Now you got your own product, you got your own clothing brand. Like, you really matter of fact, he gave me some clothes, he gave me some merch. My guy gave me some merch. So it's PMC. So you got shirts, you got, thank you. Yo, check this out. I got a hat. Y'all know I wear hats every day. So, you know, I'm in the game.
Let's go.
You know, I got a shirt, PMC shirt. I'm going to rock this too. I'm actually going to rock it on one of my podcast episodes. You know what I'm saying? So what else do you have? You got shirts, you got hats. Is there any type of hair products that you have that you're pushing out?
So we're actually working on some behind the scenes, brother. Man, the hair product industry.
I know you can't share it. Yeah.
But we got a lot of things. We actually got some razor holders. We're actually just working, and like I said, even though I don't know it all, I'm just enjoying it and just creating things as I go. The shirt that you just got yourself right now, it's actually a resemblance, bro, that God put us on this earth to create.
Wow,
PMC, brother. I wanted to ask you, do you know what PMC stands for?
So, you know, when we were working together back, and I think, is it, did you change it? Did you change? I mean,
what
okay.
What you got?
Is it player made cuts? Is that what it is?
Oh, hey, nobody's supposed to know that, bro.
You know, man, this is my guy. We go way back. Man,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm a rocket too. Yeah, I want y'all to check this out. I'm a rock this.
Hey, that the reason he knows that is because he saw me right out of high school. That's a whole nother story that we're gonna leave for later, right? But no, man. So the reason why I named it PMC was because I was always trying to be precise. You know what I mean? Always trying to be perfect. But I realized that, bro, that even though we're not perfect, we're perfectly created in God's eyes. Woo. That's what stands for Precision Made Creations.
So he changed it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I
like it.
And the reason why I changed it, bro, is because I said everything I have to this day is thanks to God. So everything that I'm going to do moving forward, I'm going to involve him in my life and everybody else's life. So when you wear this merch and when you wear these shirts, bro, I want you to remember that you are perfectly created in God's eyes. And even though you're not perfect, it's okay. Just be the better version of yourself every single day, bro.
Him and I, we went to Miami for it was a podcast summit. Shout out to David Shands for hosting an incredible event. Amazing. So Josh and I, we went out there to get the game. And one of the things that I kind of like just said to myself, I said, I'm talking to as many people as I possibly can. And I don't just say I'm a barber. I say, hey, yo, I'm a professional barber. My name is AP. I'm a professional barber. I don't just like to say a barber. To me, that's cool if you introduce yourself as a barber. But when you put a professional on there, it just strikes a different kind of conversation. And so when we went out there, we talked to so many people. Conversations that I didn't necessarily have the game on, but I was like, yo, I'm with it. If she want to talk about it or if they want to talk about it, let's talk about it. And you said something twice in this whole entire conversation that I keep hearing is the consistency. They shared that at the conference. You have to show up. So if you feel like because you have a book schedule and because you make $800, $1,000 in a day, you don't necessarily have to show up, I would argue that you won't last long in this game. Because showing up is like what we talked about offline. I was sick and I had to show up. I was literally leaned over on the wall, like for real. But I had
Yeah.
to show up because I understand that it is not necessarily just about me. Your gift is to serve your people, to serve your clients.
Yes.
And so being consistent. Now, how do you handle burnout? Because you talk about being consistent, right? And you do a lot. And I found that as a shop owner, as a suite owner now, I've been in this game for a little bit. And burnout is a real thing. You can have the coldest cuts, the coldest grind. You can literally give your whole self to this industry. You said it earlier, you're married to this. So what happens when your mate, as in this career, is not being good to you in the sense of you're burnt out? How do you handle burnout?
So I experienced burnout. Was it a few months ago? I said, because I'm also a mom,
Yes.
and I've got my mom duties. I've got my barber, my career duties, and then I also do like my networking. I'm on the board of the Deck Network, so I give time there. I'm affiliated with Clutch Barber Supply. I give time there, and I experienced it, and I was like, whew. And I feel like a lot of people around me were experiencing it. And the way I handled it, I really had to take time for clarity, right? So time to myself. But I almost have to fall in love with what I do. And I didn't have time to take a good vacation. I went to Chicago, but it was so chaotic in Chicago. I didn't rest at all. I was more tired from the trip.
Wow.
And so I came back wanting to feel refreshed. I didn't feel that at all. And I said, how can I do this? And I felt the burnout because I was trying to leave early. So I think it was everything. It was my environment. It was just everything that was causing it. And I shifted my focus. And that's really what helped me. I think when you feel burnout too, there's something in your life. It might not even be, you might feel burnout with barbering, but it might be coming from another source in your life. And so I feel like that's what was happening too with me. And when I shifted the focus of all of that, so when I went to the new shop, I adjusted a lot of boundaries in all aspects of my life, like my personal life, everything. And when I did that and I came to the new shop, it was like refreshing. And I don't feel that burnout. I'm working longer days and I'm working more days. And I don't feel the burnout that I felt when I was working like 5 days, leaving, at an earlier time. I was feeling burnt out. And now I'm working more, but I'm not feeling the burnout like I was. So I just had to do things to readjust and to per se like fall back in love with what I'm doing.
I love that. Listen, we met 3 years ago. And we didn't know each other, of course.
No.
Going back to the networking piece, we met on Instagram.
Yes.
And from day one, it's like, man, we were locked in. This is 3 years ago. And I'll tell you, I've seen the growth. I've literally seen, like, I said, man, she about to be on TV. Like, and this is real talk. Like, I've seen the elevation. And I don't know what, behind the scenes, what you got going on, but you said something that was super dope. Like, the focus. You shifted your focus. Here's what I see. I see a lot of people make changes. They might buy a new pair of clippers. They might buy a new liner. Maybe the liners is not working for me. Or maybe, I need to buy different guards. They have a beautiful station with all these clippers. But the reality of it is, if your mindset is not changing, if you are not cutting off some of those barber friends or connections that you have, because people will drain you when you're cold. When you are dope at what you do, they will drain you. Your phone will ring. They will call you. They will ask you for so much to the point to where you just feel drained by who you're connected to.
Yes.
You got me? And so it's like, I feel like what I'm seeing now is such an amazing, it's like right before I'm like, man, I know her. Like, we're connected. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just so excited about what you got going. So before we move on, can you just kind of tell them how can they connect with you? Because at this point they like, I want to be a part of her gram. I want to follow her
Yes.
journey. So how can they follow
Yes.
you?
So my main platform is Instagram.
For sure.
And it's at Fades by Dre, FADESXDRE. And
Yo, she cold.
I also have a LinkedIn.
Let's go. LinkedIn.
Same thing, Fades by Dre. So Facebook is Fades by Dre. I'm the most active on my Instagram.
The most active.
Yes.
For sure.
My
for
Booksy link, all of that is on there.
You know, we said this the other week. We said people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
And
That's
kinda,
big.
Yeah, and I kind of take that into my own little arsenal, and I truly try to show a level of customer service
Yes.
that's going to leave a stamp on that experience.
Definitely.
I like that. Call them by their name.
Yes.
Most clients coming in, they feel like we don't care anyway.
Yes.
We just trying to get this $60,
Trying to get this
$50,
money real
right?
quick.
But when you call them by their name and actually remember their daughter's birthday party,
Exactly.
they going home and you give them a fire cut. You give them a fire
it
cut.
takes.
That's the icing on the cake.
That's all it takes.
They get, baby, you won't believe.
Yeah.
I just got cut.
Yeah.
And it changes the whole experience. And so I like that I could tell that you are focusing on the whole experience.
Yeah.
Because you could cut, bro.
For sure.
I saw
Thank
you
you.
work. You could cut.
Thank you.
I studied your Instagram. I love the way you're marketing, as we stated. But you can cut. And I like the fact that you are very professional.
Yes.
And you're focused.
Mm-hmm.
You're focused from what it looks like.
Definitely.
And I really believe that a lot of young barbers that are looking at you today is saying there's something about him, because you're bigger. To me, you're bigger than just a shop suite. 100%. But I think there is a process to get to the overall level of success.
Definitely.
So I would say, man, just from me as a veteran in the game, to keep going.
Thank
but,
you.
But also stay locked in and watch who you keep in terms of company.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of guys
yeah.
that are watching you and they want to get close to you because they see the potential. I'm gonna stop. I'm just say it like this.
Definitely.
Do you realize a lot of people get jealous not for where you're going, but the potential of where you're going?
Yeah.
Like for real, like
Yeah.
I'm serious. And so the potential, you got to protect and guard
Definitely.
what you have. You're young, you're married, you got a beautiful thing going. And I think that as you protect your investment, you're going to attract the type of people you want to be around.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Absolutely. So, man, I would say before we close, man, this has been great, man. Can you tell us or tell the viewers, how can they follow you, man? How can they stay connected with you on Instagram? What's your Instagram? Can you just kind of tell them how they can stay connected with you, man, in that particular way?
Definitely. My Instagram is dblends_, and my TikTok is ICUTZ hair. I cuts hair.
Love
Definitely.
it, man. Love it. Like I say, I'm a fan. I'm proud of you. I'm like a
you.
big bro to you, man.
Thank you, brother.
And any closing remarks that can encourage the young barber that wants to get to a certain level of success in the hair industry?
I say be yourself and be the best you can be. Don't try to be the best barber. Don't try to be the best stylist, or don't try to give the crispiest hairline on Instagram. Do the best you can do for you, and don't worry about what anybody else will think about it. Just as long as your client is happy, don't try to satisfy anybody else.
There you have it. The man, D Blends. You got a lot of shop owners that are intimidated by up-and-coming barbers who got the skill set, who have the potential. You don't want to go into a shop where, this shop owner can basically become intimidated by your potential. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm from the Bay Area, and I was working at a shop. I won't say the shop because the shop is still in existence, and this shop owner was so jealous of me. Here's what happened. I just moved from one area out of the Bay Area to another, and I got this opportunity to work at this barber shop. I knew of this shop owner. He was the man. He was cutting a lot of celebrities, cutting a lot of rappers, all the things. And I had just left a location to come to his shop. And what ended up happening was he didn't know how good I can cut. He just was like, yeah, bruh, I'll give you a month free booth rent. And this is a true story. Ain't no capping over here. This is a true story. He gave me a month free of booth rent without even knowing my skill set. My first week at the barbershop, he literally tried to take me outside and say, oh man, I was just playing about the booth rent, man. I'm gonna need you to pay booth rent today. And I'm like, what? You hired me and told me this is a verbal contract. That's why contracts are important. If you're gonna open a shop, contracts are important. This cat gave me a verbal contract to say, I'm going to give you 1 month for free. And then my first week at the shop, he saw how good I can cut. And I was putting in work, made some good money that weekend. And that weekend, he wanted to charge me booth rent. I was probably at that shop for 6 months. Here's what happened. One of my clients that followed me over to this new shop, Oscar's his name. He followed me over to the new shop, and I didn't even know this. This guy was so quiet. Whenever I cut him, he's just quiet. We never really talked because he was always on his phone, busy doing his thing. And the day he decided to pull out, he decided to pull out the drip. What he had on, what he drove to the shop. I never knew what he drove to the shop. He always just came in and was very quiet, business owner. Another client walked in from the back and said, hey, yo, whose car is that in the back? Now, I don't know whose car it is because I don't know what car he's talking about. But my man's drove a brand new Bentley at the time to the shop. This was a Saturday. I'll never forget it. Everybody was like, what kind of car is it? It's a Bentley. Man, I went outside and saw my client's Bentley. It was a brand new Bentley, man, mink floors. He was so quiet. Never said anything about what he owned, what he had. That day he had the rollie on. He just was, he was dripped out. That day, this shop owner fired me. He fired me from the shop, not because I said anything wrong, not because I didn't pay my booth rent. He fired me based on potential. So if you're going to go to a shop, don't go to a shop where you feel like this owner may become jealous of your potential. You got to go to a shop right out of school where this owner is going to give you the game because he sees something inside of you that's going to revolutionize the hair industry. And so add value to yourself. Become valuable, and you're going to make a lot of money in this industry. The more valuable you are, the more money you're going to make. And then don't judge your chapter 2 with someone else's chapter 20 because you're going to get lost in the sauce. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the journey. Invest back into yourself in an expensive way. Don't take no shortcuts. And I promise you, you are literally going to watch your career go from bottom zero, if you will, through the roof. That's a fact. Super clean. It's not, I've been in a lot of shops where it's super dirty. You got hair all over the floor. Yeah. Like he actually has people to come in and clean and does high level cleaning. So that speaks to you as a shop owner. Yeah. And so I understand what you mean by you put a lot of time into it. But more importantly, you got 6 chairs and you're giving those barbers that come to your shop the game, right? Mm-hmm. But not just that, you hold courses, you hold classes, man. Like I took one of your classes. Mm-hmm. And by the way, my shop game went through the roof based on who I was connected to. And so what type of services do you offer and what type of classes do you offer to someone that says, I like what he's doing and I want to be just like that?
Well, the type of services I offer is facials, just basic hair cuttings, thermal scrubs, shampoos, those things, pretty much like the basics, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's all about language, so I do a bald head treatment as a hydrotherapy bald treatment. And then I got the aloe vera hydrotherapy bald treatment, the Alaska mask facial, detox facial, the Arctic man facial, a thermal scrub neck and chin. So those are like several services that I do. Yeah. And what's the other part you said?
Well, you saying it like you offer all these different services.
Oh, you said what type of education? Well, they all development courses as far as like, it don't matter who it is. Like my goal is to help develop you into the barber that you desire to be. You know what I'm saying? I'm more straight to the point on my education and how my courses run. I don't like to draw things out as far as like giving you a whole bunch of information that you don't need. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so passionate about it is that I don't really need notes and stuff. Like everything is in here.
It's in you, yeah.
Everything
yeah.
is in here. Some people's like, man, you don't take notes or nothing like that. I'm like, no, for what? Everything is in me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything is in me. So it just shows like I'm really, really, you know what I'm saying, like indebted to this, bro. Like I care about it a lot.
Absolutely.
And I take pride in educating people because I like to see people like yourself as develop into the barber that you wasn't at first.
Absolutely.
Now, you're doing the services,
Yes,
your haircutting getting better, and just the aesthetics, like all that matters because people come in, they going to investigate, they going to see. They like, oh man, I like how you got this, and they ask questions. Like you want to set up prompts that draws curiosity. Like someone would ask that, like, what is that machine right there? What you getting out of there?
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
man,
it's crazy, man.
It's a science to it, for sure.
It's definitely a science to it.
It's a science to it.
It's a science to it. And that's why I keep things in a clear bottle. Like, I don't never have labels and stuff on there because when I do my videos, they be like, man, what's in that bottle? I'm like, what's that green stuff in that bottle? What's that blue stuff? Or what's this? You know what I'm saying? What's the hydro blast machine? Like, what's that?
Absolutely.
Drawing curiosity. So they want to come in to get a service just based off of what they saw. Or a barber want to take a course based off of what they seen. Because ain't nobody doing it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody doing those type of services in Houston.
At all.
Nah, they not.
At all.
So they don't want to do it, that's fine. They can all come to me.
look, it's all look, and that's the thing, man. And I know you got to go. I know we got to do a part 2 of this. I mean, I really wanted to bring some value to this particular community because H3, man, like from setting yourself apart to making sure that you hone in on your actual craft. You have set yourself up to where now, man, people from all over the world see what you're doing, and I think it's a phenomenal thing. So, man, before you leave, man, can you give us some closing remarks, and how can they follow you? Like, how can they get in contact with you so they'll know how to follow you after this podcast?
They can follow me at H3Dimensions not H3Dimensions.com, H3Dimensions on IG.
Yeah.
I'm mainly on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to expand to Facebook and everything because
Absolutely.
Facebook is a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, put God first and just always give yourself grace, man. Like, don't be hard on yourself. Understand that barbering and your craft is all a process. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing's going to happen overnight. It took me 5 to 6 years to get where I'm at. It didn't take me, 2 years or 1 year. Because I told a barber, I told one of my stylists that work in the shop, she was like, I'm going to be good in 2 years. And I said, it's going to take you about 5 years. She said, 5 years? I said, yeah, that's an average time for, like, any business. Anybody to become a full developed barber takes you about 5 to 7 years, but it mainly takes you about 5, depending on how you start. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to go through ups and downs. But just give yourself some grace, man. Just allow yourself to develop into the barber that you need. Yeah. And everything else will harvest for you. You know what I'm saying? Everything else will work out for you. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Everything is pretty much simple. You just gotta attack it in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Just put those 10,000 hours in, and you'll be all right. Trust me.
What would you say is the next steps for Blade Smith, for Danny? Like, I know we go way back, and you stay cooking up something. Right?
You know it.
He might look like this. But you stay cooking up something. What's next for you, for the Barber College? Do you have any plans to expand? Or just what can you kind of share with us? What's next for you?
Yeah, so before I say that, I'm going to say this. Man, I ain't going to lie, man. God has showed so much favor on me and my family, and we're pretty comfortable. I went to the African American Museum in D.C., and when I went there, I was so inspired. I was like, man, the reason I am where I am today is because of what's in this museum. All the people that paved the way for me and you to be business owners.
For sure.
And then something switched in me. Something was just like, you can't be comfortable and chill. You got to do more than what you've done because there's too many people behind you got to pave the way for.
Wow.
So because of that,
wow.
Blade Smith right now, we are working on creating we want to not only impact individuals, we want to try to impact every barber school there is.
Wow.
All right. So we're working on a software right now that's going to take our whole curriculum. It's going to make the grading easier for instructors.
That's powerful.
It's going to make just it's going to simplify, making it kind of all digital, you know, to where students can just sign up, have a seat, and we'll just license it out to schools. So that's kind of what we're working on. We're working on taking Bladesmith, putting it into a software package to where schools all over could actually enhance barbering all around.
So you got to walk me through that. You can't just throw that at me and just you got to walk me through. So I understand the software piece.
Yeah.
But when you say you're going to try to touch all schools nationwide, how does that work? Like, can you just kind of walk us through? Is it a school can sign up, a high school can, like, what's that look like?
No, so it's more so like, you know how, I'm going to just say a photographer, videographer, how they would pay for a licensing for a software that they use. So what we want to do is, like, the challenges that a lot of schools have is being able to keep up with book work, assignments. We want to make everything digital, you know, to where assignments, grading can be done. You know what I'm saying? You can look at the schools, the students' GPA, things like that. So that's one piece. So that's the theory piece. So we kind of want to simplify it. Then the other piece is we want to pretty much take what we teach in our curriculum and do a video course to where it's breaking down everything. So I'm basically giving the game away to enhance barbering all around. All right. And so that's pretty much what the software is going to consist of. It's going to be the video training, and it's going to be twofold. It's going to be videos for students, and then it's going to be videos for instructors, because instructors need to be taught, especially here in Texas, with them deregulating licensing.
Yeah.
A lot of schools are opening up, and we're getting students that's transferring because the schools they're going to are trash. The guys didn't get taught on how to teach. Yeah, and so that's what I'm learning is that there's just a need. So wherever there's a need, you know what I'm saying, that you can serve, the money is a byproduct. It'll come. So that's the software. Good. Man, seems like the Lord is pushing us towards troubled youth. So we have a state contract with Gainesville Juvenile where we cut. And, man, I get a chance to mentor, man, the kids love me to death. And we have an interview with Denton Juvenile next week. So what we want to do is create these contracts. We want to find qualified barbers to go in and work the contracts for us.
So good.
All right, so creating those opportunities, but trying to find people that fit in those environments and that have a heart for kids and want to mentor and deal with. So we got that. This right here, man, is the thing that I really want to dedicate things to. So we're real close to getting financial aid. Once we do that, man, we want to open 20 schools and 100 shops. Supercuts got no Sports Clips has like 1,600 stores.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, they got 1,600 stores.
Didn't know that.
So we've never seen that be done within our type of barbering. We see the corporate shops where they're doing the basic haircuts, but Bladesmith kind of wants to be the one to try to pull that off within our industry. Man. You know, where it's high quality, high level, and corporate all at the same time. And so, man, outside of that, that's basically it. And then I gotta end it with this. You know, man, when I was cutting hair, I said, man, Lord, I love money. I only got two hands.
Right.
I can only make so much money.
Yeah.
You also told me that I gotta cut hair and tell people about you. So I said, man, what can I do where I can make the most amount of money and still honor what the Lord told me to do? And I said a barber school. So the reason why Bladesmith is also unique, you know, we're not Bible thumpers. We don't force nothing on nobody. But we are not ashamed of what we believe in. So my school, man, really is a place where, man, people come to the Lord. You know, people hear about God. So we want that same culture to kind of spread throughout our shops and throughout our schools as we continue to expand. And so that's what the heart of it has always been. So yeah, man.
Man, you got a crazy, unorthodox but yet successful way of doing things. And when it comes to business and when it comes to the barber college, I just believe that everything that you are putting your hands to is going to turn into gold because of the pathway that you're on, and you're honoring God in the process. You know what I'm saying? And so I just believe somebody watching will be inspired by you to say, I need to come and talk to Danny, because to what he's doing and how he's doing it, even with the vision that you just casted, I already know what's going to happen. I already know you stay, and you didn't tell me this offline. You know how sometimes on different podcasts, they talk about certain things offline and then they mention it. You hadn't told me anything. I just know that working with you from afar in the past, like he stayed cooking something up. He stayed cooking something up.
Man,
So I
glory
can't
to
wait to
God.
see it all come to fruition, man. And for those that's watching, can you just kind of give them something how they can follow you? Because I know they want to know how they can follow you and keep up with you on social media.
Already. So yeah, so if you guys want to follow me, you guys can follow Blaze Smith Barber College. That's on IG. You guys can also follow North Texas Cuts. That's also on IG. And then personally, man, I'm on Facebook as Danny Smith. All right, so you know that's the only thing that got my name on it. And so, man, I hope that something was said here that would inspire you guys to get your wheels turning. There's a lot more, you know what I'm saying, that we really can discuss all in this podcast.
For sure.
And so if you guys just ever want to reach out, man, and pick my brain, you're more than welcome.
Hey, yo, check this out. If you like this episode, do me a favor. Make sure you subscribe down below. We got amazing content coming your way. Stay tuned for more. Let's go.